Hello, this presentation, Skin Around the World, Exfoliating Higher Fitzpatricks, is an overview of an upcoming class given in selected cities. 5 CE credits will be given to registered nurses, nurse practitioners, and eligible estheticians. Thank you for joining me. I'm Pamela Springer. As a continuing education provider, this class is to help practitioners generate revenue by satisfying the aesthetic desires for all skin types. The class is designed to help you strategically choose the right exfoliating agent for the right skin condition and for the right Fitzpatrick skin type. For those of you who are following the latest trends, you probably already know that the U.S. population is rapidly changing. You are beginning to see more ethnically and racially diverse patients. Recent statistics show that 9 million surgical and non-surgical procedures were performed, and out of those 9 million, 21% of those procedures were performed on skin of color. Chemical peeling was number 3 as the most requested non-invasive treatment. This could definitely be an important game changer for your practice. Chemical peels are a revenue-generating service. Most practitioners were not introduced to higher Fitzpatricks in their initial training, and they are missing out on this untapped market. There has been an increase in the 45 to 64-year-old age group. This increase has been 33%. Another trend is in our aging population are our baby boomers. 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every day. Baby boomers control 77% of the country's financial assets, and anti-aging treatments are at the top of their list. There were 145 million visits last year for aesthetic services. These individuals want to have non-surgical treatments before taking dramatic steps to address their appearance. The goal is to look good and look one's best. Your success will depend on having a clear understanding of the structure and function of all skin types. What treatment modalities do you need to know to achieve a successful outcome? And most importantly, how do you get there? The most interested therapies of, I should say, the most interested individuals, they want the therapies for fine lines and wrinkles, sallowness, laxity, mottle pigmentation, textural roughness, telangiectasias, age spots, photo damage, solar lentigines, melasma, and hyperpigmentation. Most of these on the list can be corrected with a chemical peel service. The conditions that do not fall under the peeling service would be skin laxity, sallow skin. And when we talk about sallow skin, this is generally caused by an intrinsic anomaly and medication and illness, and in some cases, smoking. And really, smoking is the number one reason for sallow skin. Telangiectasias, I've heard that some practitioners have a good results using a series of peeling services to stimulate collagen production and in turn diminish the appearance of capillaries. In my experience, only the ablative laser therapy will reduce the appearance of facial telangiectasia. Chemical peeling, chemical exfoliation, skin resurfacing, and even skin rejuvenations are terms used when performing a series using a peeling agent. These agents, basically what they do is introduce an epidermal injury, causing a controlled wound that will organize both the epidermis and dermis, organizing the collagen remodeling in the dermis and producing new skin cells in the epidermis. To make this happen, it is important to understand the classification of a peel. We have superficial peels, medium depth peels, deep peels, and when using them, what changes will occur on the epidermis and in the dermis with the peel that you have selected. We want you to know how to identify the best peeling agent, not only for the condition, but also for the skin type that you're working on. I want to give you 3 steps that are very important in peeling service. Step number 1 is your initial consultation. And we want to make sure that you're getting a good skin analysis so that you can understand where your treatment plan may lead you. It's not set in stone. So a lot of times your treatment plans have to change during the time that the client is coming because the skin has not either performed to the capacity you would like it, or it has overcome whatever the adversity is of the skin, and you need to reevaluate your treatment plan. So step 1 is important about the conditions that you will be treating. So to enhance the outcome, it's always recommended that the client take away a pre-peeling kit. And this kit should have a AHA and a BHA or a combination of both in the cleanser and the toner. If it's not in the cleanser, maybe in a moisturizer. And one of the reasons is that, for example, if you have a dyschromias, you want to recommend a skin lightening product. Having that AHA or BHA becomes a carrier so that skin lightener reaches the lower layers of your epidermis to get the maximum benefit of removing or lightening those dyschromias. In this class, you will learn what skin type would best benefit for the use of a topical vitamin A. And depending on the skin condition, recommending a combination of active ingredients may be helpful to hasten the outcome. I notice that practitioners seem to be quick to administer chemical peels, but in most cases it's important to look at that acid mantle, because 9 times out of 10 that acid mantle is impaired. So repairing this layer is more about correcting the condition and, for example, a dry skin. You don't want to create more or added sensitivity to that skin by using a chemical peel. And peeling is not always the best choice, but using an enzyme, a more natural approach, will be more beneficial for a dry skin. Now let's talk about the day of the peel. The most important aspect is the first thing that you need to look at is what has happened to the skin from the time that client came, the first time they came to the day you decided to give them a chemical peel. And the only way to get that answer is to perform a skin assessment. And this will help you select the appropriate peel that you need to use that day. Because in some cases, you have already decided on the peel that you want to use, but that's from your first assessment when you saw the client initially. So in some cases, the condition has changed dramatically. And let's say it's acne, and now it's under control. But now you notice the dark spots are still evident, and the skin has some dry patches. So your initial assessment may have been the use of a salicylate, But now, what peeling agent would you use to address these dark spots and dryness? So this is some of the questions that will be answered in the class. There are many applications and techniques for administering um, peeling agents. In this class, I will introduce you to a variety of techniques and also demonstrate how to layer both an AHA and BHA peel and add other products to enhance um, the end results. In turn, if there's time and it permits, you will have the opportunity to partner up with someone and perform a treatment using an enzyme that has been formulated with an AHA. Now, step 3 is your last step, and this is really the post-peel visit. You've already given them the chemical peel, and they have booked with you 7 to 10 days out, and they're going to come back for this post-peel service. Again, it's very important to perform a skin assessment. It will help you decide on the professional products that will constitute a post-peeling treatment. It is also important for the patient to receive home care maintenance products, and this will ensure that the treatments that you have performed professionally will continue to give that skin that added healthy glow. You want to then, after the treatment, explain and educate the client on the need to book every 4 to 6 weeks as a maintenance for that skin so that it doesn't revert back to where it was initially. Now, this class you will receive a manual, and in that manual you'll have protocols. You'll also receive a certificate of attendance, and after registering, you will receive $200. Well, it's really over $200 worth of products, and all this will be included for registering for this class. The following you will see before and afters of my clients, and we'll go through them quickly and talk about the agents and what I did to get the results. So this is a Fitzpatrick 6. Now, if you notice the dark spots and the residual lesions from her acne breakout, I worked with her for about 6 weeks. She did come every week. I always start with an enzyme. This gives me some kind of beginning point to see how the skin will react to an enzyme, and gradually I get into the peel. In her case, it was 6 weeks because I wanted her to be on her prep kit for 4 weeks. And the prep kit basically was with the AHA cleanser and toner, as well as the skin lightening agent. So this is her results after 6 weeks. Well, it really was about 8 weeks because this picture was taken when she came back for her post-peel treatment. This is a Fitzpatrick 1. And as you can see, she has the photo damage. And most of this was caused because she wasn't compliant with a sunscreen. So I really educated her on the need for the use of a sunscreen, especially where she's prone to these lesions. And to reduce them, it was necessary for her to be compliant. So with her, we did go through a series. First, I dealt with the texture and her acid mantle and started again with enzymes. But 12 weeks, well, it was, 10 weeks later, she was given a layering peel, which included a Jesner and a TCA. So it was layered. And she also was, the skin lightening agent was added to try to lighten the residual lesions that were on the skin at her post-treatment. This is a Fitzpatrick 6. This is a post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation caused by the inflammation of her acne. Most people look at this skin type and they kind of shudder, but this is only a grade 2. She only had whiteheads and blackheads. The lesions, the residual dark spots, those lesions were in great number, as you can see, because she continually broke out and they were not addressed. So we started off with a good deep pore cleansing and actually a salicylic about 3 weeks later to actually heal the skin and control the breakout. And then this took 16 weeks because the first 4 weeks she just used home care products. So this was about the 14th week. This is the results that I got after layering her skin with a modified Jesner TCA, and her residual hyperpigmented lesions I addressed with a skin lightening agent. My Fitzpatrick 3, she's a Fitzpatrick because she's a European Hispanic, and this is post-acne redness, and chemical peel is not going to address the redness. Chemical peels were used to address the breakouts, and mostly it was salicylic, and I rotated. 1 week was an enzyme, 1 week was a salicylic, 1 week was another enzyme, then I might have rotated with a Jesner. But once we got those lesions under control, she had post-acne redness. So for her regimen was basically her home care products were given to her that she would use, but she was to ice after each her regimen. And so her morning regimen, she would apply all the products and then ice for about 2 to 3 minutes, and she would repeat that actually in the evening as well. Now everyone says ice, okay, I can't hold ice that long. I had her actually put it in a styrofoam cup, and with the styrofoam cup she froze the water in the freezer, and then she had something to hold on to actually ice her skin for 2 to 3 minutes. Now she was able to put that back in the refrigerator because bacteria can't, I should say the freezer, because bacteria can't live on ice. So it was always disinfected even though she had used it on her skin. So it calmed the skin down, and this was the results about 2.5 weeks later. This is a young lady who is also Hispanic, Acne Mechanica. Basically, she's a Fitzpatrick 4. These lesions were due to her blush, and so she was a very easy candidate to work on, because all I had to do is have her not use the blush, and this is the results 6 weeks later. The only thing I really had to concentrate on were those lesions that were seen after the breakouts. This is a grade 2, I should say a Fitzpatrick 2, grade 3 acne. This client was really interesting. She had acne all throughout her early teens and late teens, and she was in her 20s and was still having the acne. It had affected her self-esteem. She was a very sad individual. She felt very ugly. She also felt as though she would never work because nobody would hire her. and she would never get a relationship with anybody because she felt ugly. We worked on the skin for about 8 weeks, and she was kind of discouraged early on because, like anything else, when you're doing some treatments, you still break out afterwards because of the impurities that are under the skin. But I have to say, she stuck with me, and this was the results 8 weeks later. Let's go over the actual key points of this class. I want everyone to know the basics of chemical peels. And when I say basics of chemical peels, I'm not saying basic chemical peels. I want you to understand the mechanism of chemical peels, especially as it relates to darker skin tones. So it's important to understand the mechanism and how that wound is going to affect the skin. Is that wound going to stimulate more melanosome? Are you going to cause post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation? When a peel is very warm or hot, it creates an injury. On a Fitzpatrick 1, 2, and 3, you are going to see redness. On a Fitzpatrick 5 or 6, you can't see this redness, and you just assume that this service is benefiting the skin, and when the client comes back a week or two later, you find that they have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And if they don't come back, they will call you and let you know that they have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And they're very upset about it. And it's up to you to convince them to, come back so that you can actually remove or lessen those dark spots and discoloration. So we're going to review the wound healing cascade. We're going to understand the common side effects so that you can prevent not only those from happening, but educate your client on those side effects that they may expect. You're going to understand the contraindication of every peel that we discuss in class. And it's very important for you to understand the professional care that you need to know moving forward after the chemical peel, and the recommendations of your home care products, and educating your clients on how necessary for them to continue on a home care regimen. A lot of estheticians do not give their clients or sell, I hate to use the word sell, their clients home care products, and I'm always baffled because I don't know how you're going to be in control of the outcome unless you know what they're using at home. So we'll go over that, and if we have time, hopefully I will be able to show a presentation on how to become a retail rock star. These upcoming classes, you can click on the link below. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to call me at 855-290-5450, and I will be able to hopefully answer those questions, or if you have any concerns. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm hopefully going to begin a weekly chalk talk where it will give you information not only about peeling, but different skin conditions and comparisons when we compare what we see on a Fitzpatrick 1 or 2 or 3, and what that same lesion may look like on a Fitzpatrick 4, 5, or 6. So I'm getting out my big guns for you guys to really understand, because this population is growing and there's more skin of color coming for services, and you don't want to be in the position where you cannot assist them in their skincare needs. Thank you so much for being with me on this presentation, this overview. I hope I have the pleasure of meeting you at one of our classes. In the meantime, I hope you have a phenomenal day.